does not drink up the pond in which it lives. I often like to end a presentation with this proverb that's an American indigenous people's proverb about underground water supplies are usually finite. We have a limited supply of water on Earth, and we have to be good stewards of it. And the frog is very smart. It doesn't drink up the pond in which it lives, and we should not drink up the pond in which we live. My name is Sharon Megdal. I'm director of the Water Resources Research Center at the University of Arizona. So much of the world is facing water challenges at all levels, local, regional, national. And so issues of how to manage water better come up all the time, and questions come up. And so part of what we're considering is how do we organize the framework for our water actions? We call that governance. How do we involve all of the players? How do we take a look at our regulations, our laws, to try to make them better so that we have a framework in place that allows us to manage our water resources more effectively so that we can deal with the growing populations, the need for food, the need for energy, and also while protecting our environment and maintaining economic vitality.
Solve this problem together. It's not so trivial. We have a lot of challenges and opportunities, but together and understanding and change the mindset, we can keep strong and solve these problems in a smart way. My name is Gustavo Possetti. I am engineer and doctor in science, and I work at Sanepar, is the water and wastewater company of Paraná State in Brazil. When the people use water, the people insert pollutants or some contaminants. So in order to reduce the environmental impact, it's extremely important to collect the sewage and treat the sewage before to send the final disposal in case a river, for example. We used during the last decades the specific contexts associated with the linear economy. But now we know that the sewage is an input for the other important step. The idea is recover research from the sewage. We don't have a simple wastewater treatment plant. We have a sustainable wastewater treatment plants, and we use the circular economy approach in order to understand better the new conditions and in order to implement the approach and improve the environmental sanitation conditions, especially in Latin American and Caribbean.
I would argue that there's room for improvement just about everywhere in terms of water policies, whether it's a small city, a large city, a region. And so what you have to take stock of is where are you now, what are your problems now, but also where are you going and what do you need to do to make for a more secure water supply in terms of quality, quantity, reliability. You have a very large population. You're having to provide water to all, wastewater services and the like. And as you have more and more growth, the need to install or invest in new infrastructure at the same time you need to make sure your existing infrastructure is maintained and so forth. It's a never-ending process of monitoring water quality, water quantity, and working with your customers.
We have to understand that a lot of research to recover. For example, in the sewage, we have carbon. And the carbon we can convert and produce biogas and energy. And this energy can be useful for the operators in order to reduce costs and in order to promote the environmental sanitation. We have a lot of challenge in Latin America and Caribbean, and but this challenge is an opportunity for us to promote value for society. If we recognize that the sewage as a good input for other aspects, we can generate value for the society, and we can reduce costs, and we can reorganize the plan in order to promote the universalization of the systems and in order to promote the environmental sanitation.
The importance of sharing information, of education, because everybody needs to know where their water comes from. And that doesn't mean that you turn on the faucet and the water comes out, but is it coming from underground water? Is it coming from surface waters? What is climate change? What does that mean for the future water supplies if there's drought more often or flooding more often? So we have to keep our eye on the whole picture and the long-term picture.
We are starting now when we decide to discuss the topic. So the society needs to discuss and establish according to your specific conditions the best way for that. We have tools, we have acknowledgement, and we have the good and positive dream to solve the problems and to promote best conditions for anyone.
And so water utilities at all levels need to take a look at where do they need to move to, where are their water supplies going to come from, and work with their customers, decision makers, and all involved to make sure that they're prepared for the future. The frog does not drink up the pond in which it lives.